Remember how gummy bears were the go-to candy as a kid? Small, chewy, colorful, and always there when you wanted something sweet. But then things got kinda strange. Suddenly, it wasn't just fruity flavors. There were sour, spicy, and even glow-in-the-dark gummy bears. So, how are gummy bears actually made in a factory? Let's take a look. A long time ago, there was a small, chewy treat that became popular in snack bowls and party bags: gummy bears. Before they were everywhere, these little candies started out small in Germany in the 1920s. A candy maker named Hans Riegel came up with the idea while having coffee. He thought, what if I made a candy shaped like a bear that's fun to chew? And that's how gummy bears were created. Hans lived in Bonn, Germany, and his small candy company was called Haribo, a mix of his name and the town. At first, the gummy bears were simple with just one flavor, lemon. They weren't as colorful or fruity as today's versions, but it didn't take long for people to realize they could be something much bigger. As time passed, gummy bears began to grow in popularity. They became more exciting with new, brighter flavors like orange, raspberry, and cherry. By the 1960s, gummy bears could be found all over Europe. What started as a simple snack turned into one of the most popular candies, with many new flavors and lots of attention. So how did these gummy bears become so popular? It's all because of their stickiness. Gummy bears quickly appeared in lunchboxes, movie theaters, and even doctor's offices. We've all been there. They were cheap, easy to carry, and perfect for eating in one go without anyone judging you. No other candy could stay in your pocket for hours and still be just as chewy like a gummy bear. Their convenience and sweetness made them a favorite across generations, and before long, every snack aisle had them. The name gummy comes from the German word gummy bar, meaning rubber bear. While gummy bears taste much better than rubber, their chewy texture is what gives them the gummy name. It's like Hans was saying, this candy will stick with you, literally. Gummy bears aren't just candy. They're a snack that grabs your attention and makes you enjoy every bite, no matter how many you eat. Over the years, gummy bears became popular far beyond Europe. When they arrived in the US in the 1980s, it was a big deal. Gummy bears even appeared in commercials, TV shows, and viral videos. They went from being just an after-school snack to a global sensation loved by people of all ages. Next time you grab a bear-shaped snack, remember, you're not just eating candy, you're enjoying a bit of history. Enough history lessons. Let's take a look inside the factory. The journey of a gummy bear starts long before it hits the candy aisle. First, the raw materials are carefully chosen. The main ingredients in gummy bears are sugar, glucose syrup, gelatin, citric acid, flavoring, and food coloring. Each one is important for creating the gummy bear's unique taste and texture. These ingredients are selected carefully to make sure the final product is high quality, consistent, and safe. Sugar is the main sweetener in gummy bears, usually coming from sugar beets or sugar cane. It has to be of high quality to get the right sweetness. The sugar is refined before being used. It gives the gummy bears their sweetness and texture. Glucose syrup, another type of sugar, is also important. Made from corn or wheat, it helps make the gummies smooth and keeps them soft and chewy. It also stops the sugar from hardening too fast, which is key to keeping the gummy bears the right texture. The quality of glucose syrup is important to make sure the gummy bears turn out just right. Gelatin is what gives gummy bears their chewy texture and is an important ingredient in making them. It's made from animal collagen, usually from cows or pigs. The collagen is turned into a powder or sheet, then dissolved in hot sugar syrup to form a gel as it cools. This process creates the gummy bear's bouncy, chewy texture. Gelatin is crucial because without it, the candy wouldn't keep its shape. The quality of gelatin affects how firm and chewy the gummies are. Some gummy makers use plant-based alternatives like agar-agar or pectin for vegan options, but gelatin is still the most common choice in regular gummy bear recipes. Citric acid is another important ingredient in gummy bears. It comes from citrus fruits like lemons or limes and adds a tangy flavor that balances the sweetness. This gives the gummy bears a bit of a zing and makes the taste more interesting. Citric acid also helps preserve the candy by lowering the pH, which keeps the gummies fresh and safe to eat for a longer time. Flavor and color are also key in making gummy bears. The flavors are usually fruit-based, like strawberry, orange, lemon, lime, and raspberry. These flavors can come from natural or artificial sources, and manufacturers carefully use the right amounts to make the taste consistent. The colors match the flavors: red for strawberry, yellow for lemon, green for lime, etc. These colors can come from natural sources, like beet juice or spinach powder, or from synthetic dyes. The goal is to make the gummy bears not only taste good, but also look bright and appealing. The right combination of flavor and color helps create a full sensory experience: taste, smell, sight, touch, and even the slight crunch when biting into the chewy candy. Sustainability has become an important concern in making gummy bears. As people become more aware of the impact of their food choices on the environment, candy makers are working to ensure their ingredients are responsibly sourced. This includes choosing suppliers who use good farming practices, using organic and non-GMO ingredients when possible, and making sure gelatin comes from humane sources. Some companies are also looking for natural, plant-based alternatives to artificial colors and flavors, which are better for the environment and free from harmful chemicals. These efforts help companies meet the demand for eco-friendly products while keeping the candy tasty and high quality. Once all the ingredients are gathered, they are mixed in the right amounts to make the gummy bear base. Mixing is an important step because it affects the candy's texture and taste. The ingredients are measured carefully, and large mixers make sure they are blended well into a smooth mixture. First, sugar and glucose syrup are dissolved in water and heated to the right temperature, so the sugar melts fully and the texture is smooth without any lumps. After the syrup is ready, gelatin is added slowly to avoid clumps and make sure it dissolves evenly in the hot syrup. The gelatin is mixed in carefully, and the mixture is heated to the right temperature so the gelatin can fully dissolve. This is what creates the chewy texture of gummy bears. When the mixture cools, the gelatin forms a gel, giving the candy its famous chewy feel. Once the gelatin is fully mixed in, the next ingredients, citric acid, flavorings, and colorants, are added. Citric acid is usually dissolved in a little water before being added to the syrup. The flavorings are carefully measured and mixed in, followed by the colorants. This is when the mixture starts to look like the final candy. The colors become bright, and the flavors start to show as the mixture comes together. It's important to make sure the flavor and color are evenly spread so each gummy bear tastes and looks the same. The mixture is now a thick, hot syrup and ready to be poured into molds. But before that, the temperature needs to be just right. If it cools too fast, it might not flow properly into the molds and could affect the texture. If it's too hot, it might cause bubbles or uneven filling, leading to mistakes in the gummy bears. Keeping the right temperature makes sure the mixture stays smooth and flows well, helping to get the perfect gummy bear shape. The molding stage is when the gummy bears start to take shape. After the mixture is ready, it is poured into molds made for gummy bear production. These molds are usually made from food-safe silicone or metal, with bear-shaped spaces for the candy to form. Silicone is often used because it's flexible, making it easier to remove the gummy bears once they have set. In big factories, the molding process is automated. The molds are placed on conveyor belts, and the syrup is poured into them using pumps or nozzles. The syrup needs to be poured carefully to make sure each mold is filled properly. If it's poured too fast or unevenly, the gummy bears could have irregular shapes or air bubbles, which can affect their texture. The syrup is carefully controlled and dispensed at the right temperature to avoid cooling too quickly or causing imperfections. After the molds are filled, they are moved to cooling racks or refrigerated chambers where the gummy bears will set. The temperature is carefully controlled to make sure the gummy bears don't harden too fast, which could change their texture. It's important for them to cool slowly so the gelatin can form a smooth gel. During this time, the gummy bears get their chewy texture, and the colors and flavors fully develop. As the gummy bears cool, they gradually firm up into their familiar shape. The cooling chambers need to keep the right temperature and airflow to make sure each batch sets evenly. If some gummy bears set unevenly, their texture or appearance might be affected, lowering the quality of the batch. Keeping the temperature steady is important to get the perfect chew and avoid defects. The cooling and setting process is important for making the perfect gummy bear. After the molds are filled, they are moved to a controlled cooling area where the candies will become firm and chewy. Cooling happens slowly to give the gelatin time to set properly. The temperature and humidity in the cooling area must be carefully controlled because they can affect the texture of the gummy bears. The cooling process usually takes several hours, depending on the mold size and production process. The cooling chambers are set to about 65 degrees Fahrenheit, 18 degrees Celsius, which helps the gelatin set evenly without getting too hard or too soft. If the temperature is too high, the gummy bears might be too sticky. If it's too low, the candy might set too quickly and become brittle, losing its chewy texture. Humidity is important during cooling. Too much moisture can make gummy bears sticky or soft, while a dry environment can cause them to dry out too quickly. Manufacturers keep an eye on humidity to make sure the gummy bears cool evenly and stay the right texture. Once the gummy bears are fully cooled and have set into a solid shape, they are ready to be removed from the molds. This step is important to keep the candies in the right shape and texture. A good cooling process is key to getting that perfect mix of firmness and chewiness that people love. Once the gummy bears have cooled and set, they are ready to be taken out of the molds. This step needs care to avoid ruining the candy. In most factories, this is done automatically. The molds are gently shaken or flipped to release the gummy bears. The molds are flexible, making it easier to remove the gummy bears without changing their shape. After the gummy bears are taken out of the molds, they are placed on conveyor belts and moved to the next step. Workers or machines quickly check each gummy bear to make sure it keeps its shape and has no defects, like air bubbles, cracks, or unevenness. Any gummy bears that don't look right are taken off the line. This makes sure only the best-looking gummy bears keep going through the process. The demolding process is important for the quality and safety of the gummy bears. If the gummies are damaged or misshapen, they might not pass later checks, so careful handling helps catch problems early. Also, gently removing them from the molds keeps any leftover syrup from causing stickiness or clumping, making the gummy bears easier to package and transport. After the gummy bears are demolded and checked, they are usually coated with a thin layer of cornstarch or powdered sugar. This helps keep them from sticking together during drying and packaging, making them easier to handle and distribute. After being demolded, gummy bears need to dry to get the right texture. This helps keep them from sticking together and ensures they stay soft and chewy. The drying process takes a few hours, and during this time, the gummy bears move on large conveyor belts through a controlled drying chamber. The drying chamber needs to have the right humidity and temperature. If it's too dry, the gummy bears may become hard, losing their chewy texture. If there's too much moisture, they might become sticky and clump together. The right airflow and temperature help each gummy bear dry evenly without losing its texture. Quality control happens throughout production. As the gummy bears move along the conveyor, each batch is checked for defects. Any gummy bears that are too soft, sticky, or misshapen are removed. This makes sure only good products continue to the next steps. Automated systems also check for texture, color, and flavor. Each batch is carefully inspected to make sure the final product looks and tastes great. After the gummy bears finish drying and pass inspection, they are tested for things like how long they last and how they react to changes in the environment. This extra step makes sure the candy stays fresh and keeps its texture until it gets to the consumer, ensuring a consistent experience in every bag. Once the gummy bears have dried to the right texture, they are ready for packaging. The gummy bears are placed into packaging machines that automatically fill bags or containers with the candy. The packaging is made to keep the product safe and fresh by being airtight and tamper-proof. Each package is labeled with important information like ingredients, nutrition facts, best before date, and details about the manufacturer. The packaging process is automated to make it faster and more accurate. Bags are sealed with heat or pressure to keep air out and protect the candy. The packaging is made strong to survive shipping and handling, ensuring the gummy bears aren't damaged. Some packaging also has extra layers to stop contamination or protect the candy from light, which could affect its quality. After being packaged, the gummy bears are stored in warehouses with controlled temperatures to keep them safe. They are shipped in refrigerated trucks to prevent them from getting too soft or sticky. Once they arrive at retail stores, they are placed on shelves for people to buy. The distribution process is carefully watched to make sure the gummy bears reach stores in good condition. Delivery plans are organized to avoid delays or damage. The packaging is also designed to make it easier for stores to store the candy and for customers to grab. Once in stores, the gummy bears are ready to be enjoyed by candy fans everywhere. Gummy bears have remained popular for many reasons. Their chewy texture, bright colors, and fun shape make them a treat people of all ages love. The mix of sweet, fruity flavors and soft, bouncy texture makes them a candy that stands out. Over time, gummy bears have kept their charm by bringing back happy memories, making them a favorite snack for many. Another reason gummy bears are so popular is their versatility. They come in many flavors, sizes, and even sugar-free versions, making sure there's something for everyone. They've also kept up with modern trends, with new options like vegan or organic gummies attracting more people. Their appearances in movies, TV shows, and social media have helped them stay popular with younger generations while still holding on to their nostalgic appeal for older ones. Additionally, the simple ingredients and steady quality of gummy bears have made them a reliable candy choice for many people. The careful production process, from choosing the right ingredients to molding, cooling, and drying, ensures that every gummy bear stays true to its classic taste and texture. This focus on detail has helped the gummy bears stay a key part of the candy industry and a popular treat that continues to succeed in an ever-changing market. In conclusion, gummy bears have stayed a favorite candy for many years because they are enjoyable, versatile, and always made with the same high quality. Their mix of nostalgia, fun, and tasty flavors means they will probably continue to be a top pick for candy lovers all over the world for a long time. Now that you've got the inside scoop on gummy bears, we've got to ask, what's your favorite gummy bear flavor? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more tasty breakdowns. See you next time.